share, and let us do
There we go.
let us do a roll call. We have all right. I'm here. Vaughn North. I thought I saw you.
Yes,
He was
I'll
there.
start on.
There he is. Oh, I see him. He's coming back in. All right. Roy Henderson, I see you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Jan Jones is here.
Yep.
We have, I'm trying to go in order and this just ain't working. Here we go. Let's do it this way. Ione is not present. We were expecting that. Ron Smith, you are present, correct?
Yep, I'm here.
And then we have, is Erica Schwarm here? No. Is Chirito here? Not yet. Alex is here. Mike Fried is here. Colleen McKinnon, did I see you were here? No. Yes, Colleen McKinnon is here.
I'm here.
Larry Trotner is here. Laura Stees is not here. No sound from Vaughn. I can hear everyone else, Vaughn.
And we can hear you, Andy.
And they can hear me.
Yeah.
See, Christine Montana is here, and yes, we already said Jan Jones is here. Did I call Bill Smith? I see him is here.
Aki.
So, Ron, did we get everyone?
Yeah, I got McKinnon, North, Trotner, Bill Smith, Henderson, Keegan, Jones, Montan, Kerwin, Freet, and me.
So we have a quorum.
Indeed.
We
Rolling.
begin the, yay. So let's see, approval of minutes. Here's the minutes up on the screen.
No,
Does any-
You just
What's
took
that?
them off.
oh, no, they're up. The minutes from the last meeting from April 13th.
Yeah, move approval.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. All righty. So call for removal of items or changes to this agenda. Anything? I finally got this down, don't I?
Time to re-up, Andy.
With a
No.
month to go.
No. Okay, executive reports. My only report from the executive report standpoint is I actually checked in with Rotary International to look at our how we might be doing to meet our goals and become one of those clubs that gets awards again from International. And we've nailed everything except the membership. However,
And the membership director.
no,
The membership director.
no. Well, I mean, Vaughn, that's up to Vaughn. With these three, I believe we will meet our membership goal.
And
We
we have three in
actually-
the hopper, actually a fourth one now.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
4 in the
good.
hopper. We had 1 deceased. So and the goal for COVID year was actually a +2, believe it or not. And
Okay, and Andy, our first starting number was 114. So even though it says total 113, honorary members don't count as.
no, I
active.
understand. Well, again, and I'm just looking in the Rotary International, looking at the goals.
Mhm.
It basically said that, you know, we were too short of meeting our goal. And we
Okay,
have 4 in the hopper and 1 down. So that means +3. So we're gonna meet our goal.
So Andy, how about if you and I get together offline in the next week or so and go over them together, and I can start doing whatever we need to do to
Yeah.
get all that
Okay.
stuff entered and categorized and whatnot?
Sounds good. It sounds good. Again, to me, I've actually done a lot of those updates, but The member one was the one that I was most scared of, obviously, with all of our members who passed this year. So I think well, yes, Ron, let's get together offline and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Vaughn, you're up. If you have noise. I see you, and it doesn't say you're muted. Say something. He can't hear me. Okay, so let's see. Let's chat at him. Let's see. Vaughn, can you say something?
So in the meantime, Jan, are you there?
I'm here.
I have your donation solicitation letter from us to you, mailed to La Terraza. And so
Oh.
the return to sender, where do you want us to mail that?
Do you want me to email you my home address?
Sure.
I thought that change was already made.
Well, I'm gonna go
But
back and make sure that it was.
Okay, I'll email you my home address.
Okay. And whoever knows how to get a hold, well, Vate Campbell had the same problem. I'm gonna have to reach out to her. And we need to locate Joe Giamanco and Randy Hall, because we don't have good addresses for them either.
I'll look up Joe, but I'll give his business a call.
Okay.
All right, so Vaughn is not responding to texts either. All right, we'll come back to Vaughn as soon as he can. Maybe I'll text him while I'm doing. Go ahead. Let's see, Jan, or no, Roy, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Everybody can hear me, I
Hey, Roy.
presume?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, yeah, so couple things on the Oktoberfest. The application to the city to use the Great Bay Park on October 9th has been submitted, and Patrick Martinez, the guy who does that. Pardon me, somebody saying something? Okay.
Hey Siri.
Oh, there we go. Vaughn, I can hear you.
Yes, as I was saying, Patrick Martinez, who this guy in the city who handles these matters, acknowledged he got it, and the October 9th date is reserved for us. So looks like we're going to go with that, and now the planning begins. As far as the fund solicitation letters, I sent out an email I got back from Trudy Bonner. I sent it out a couple hours ago to everybody on the board. Did some of you have a chance to read that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I in my email when I forwarded Trudy's letter, I don't know how much Bronner Stokes traditionally contributes to the Rotary. Does anybody have that figure? I'm curious.
I was just gonna say, I thought it was at $5,000.
Yeah, that's what I
the
thought.
last 2 years.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought.
I
Okay,
think they threw in 10 the year that they were the honorees, but 5,000 each other year.
all right. Yeah, so as I phrased it, she's citing, she's pleading, doing a pandemic poverty pleading here, and saying she's not going to contribute anything other than beyond her $300 personal contribution. So that's the first response I've gotten back, positive, negative, or otherwise, from that fundraising solicitation letter that went out.
Well,
Ron, are you the guy who would receive the payments as they come in?
They go to the post office box,
Okay,
and it's a little early for a lot to be there, but I'm busy right now opening up the mail that I got just an hour ago.
okay.
So
No,
we got,
I'm not pressuring you. I was just curious if we'd.
No,
see.
no, I honestly, Roy, I don't feel pressed, so we're good.
Okay, good.
But I went anyway just because I wanted to have happy news, and I do have a Schuster oil check for 2,500. I've got 2 checks. I've got checks from A-Lot, probably in the same amount. Chuck does half, his mom does the other half. And I have an envelope from Jill Campbell that I haven't opened up yet.
Okay.
So that's what came in the mail today. Plus, I'm aware of some credit card donations that were made. Mike can give a more complete report on those because he was the one that helped process them.
Okay, good.
Jackie and Jay gave money. Joe Giamanco made a pledge.
Okay.
Say that
All right.
again.
Yeah.
And there's this guy named Ron Smith who delivered me a check.
Yeah, so you
His
said
personal
that
check.
Marco did something?
Okay.
Okay, I can throw away his letter, but we still want to get his mailing address.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little surprised on the Bronner Soap reaction. I've toured their facility as one of those rotating meeting field trips, and that company just exudes money, and the equipment they have, the facility they have, all the millions of dollars of automation. So I was kind of surprised.
I'll be back.
They'll be back, yeah.
All right, and now that we're gonna send out a couple more letters. Well, I've got one ready to go to membership list again, and maybe we'll get those couple people with addresses cleaned up before we do this. And this letter is I'm gonna attach a list of about 40 companies that I've researched in the past, local companies, and asking people to network out to anybody they know at these companies for sponsorship contributions. We just remember we previously discussed this and decided to go this direction because just cold calling, mailing out hasn't been productive. So we're going to try to rely on members to network with somebody they might know. And then the third letter we're going to send out is to the past vendors, restaurants and drink vendors, kind of a thank you letter, kind of keeps them in our hearts and minds to tell them they'll come back to a quarter casino event when that happens again. The list of those vendors was a little sketchy, so I probably need to clean up that list also before we send that out.
When's that letter going to go out to the vendors?
The vendors, I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to do the one that asked for network, and I'm going to do that and get that over the Printing Solutions next day or two. I'm ready for that. And the vendor one, I thought maybe next week we could do that. Like I said, I've gotten a couple lists of who past vendors are, and I saw a couple of people I know are vendors I know that are missing from that list. So I thought we should clean up the list a little bit.
Roy, this is Larry. Are you going to add to that about the Oktoberfest event? Are we going to be asking these vendors to participate in any way?
I haven't really thought through who the vendors should be for the Oktoberfest. But we can certainly do that.
Just mention that in the letter that we are
Andy?
planning an Oktoberfest thing.
Yep.
That's my phone call. I'm going on.
All right,
You
take
know,
it.
It might be worth mentioning in that letter to the vendors, that
Yeah, it's a good idea, Larry, because the Oktoberfest is the vendors can make money there. They're going to be they'll be selling food and not giving it away. So I think that would have appeal to them. You're right. That's a good idea.
Excellent. Okay, perfect.
Okay, anyway, Andrew, that's what I've got.
All right, sounds good. Jan Jones,
Did you want Vaughn to go? Is he able to?
Vaughn, has he logged in yet? No, he's trying to,
Okay.
he's trying to log in with his phone, so.
Okay. So just an update on demotion. And first of all, I want to say, like everything else in Rotary, it takes a village to do anything that we do. And I really, really appreciate all the help I'm getting from key people in Rotary on demotion. Plans are going well. We have secured the center for June the 30th. It is going to be a festive theme, so we do get a chance to dress up, those who wish to. I don't want to give away too much because Andy, I'm trying to have a little element of surprise for you. We will have plated dinner because it will be the first time we're back since the pandemic, and Terry and I thought it would be and Erica, who's working with me on this, thought it would probably be wise to have a plated dinner as opposed to a buffet. And we're working on the program. All things are going along very, very well. So it's going to be great to be able to see each other again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like you say, Jan, every village, it takes a village and every village needs an idiot. So I volunteer for that.
Oh,
That's me.
No, not even close. All righty. Vaughn, you here yet?
He's still on the phone.
No, Vaughn.
Oh, Vaughn.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Vaughn? Wave your hand. Nope. All right, he's still trying to figure that out. Let's go forward with the consent calendar items. Monthly member report. As noted, we have 107 regular members, 6 honorary, for a total of 113. We have a proposed new member, Donna Johnson, which we have her form back here. What do we do with this? Is this the point, or do we wait for member?
I think we go ahead and approve.
All right,
That's
do we have a
correct.
motion?
Be circulated.
Yep. So
I'll make
moved.
a motion to accept Donna Johnson,
Second,
circulator name.
All in favor?
aye.
All right, there we go. Move that on. Whoop, whoop. Al Fukar passed away, so he's being dropped in process. We have Kristen, and who I don't recognize that name.
Roxanne?
Oh, Roxanne. Okay, very good.
Roxanne's company theoretically has put the check in the mail.
Right.
So I need to get her to sign the membership card, then I'll consider her ready to publish. I
Okay.
just got an email from Kristen Bush saying that she will mail a check this week. It's
Nice.
just that, I don't want to hold them up when they go to the PO box. So at this
Right.
point, I'm taking their word for it that the check's in the mail.
Right.
And I haven't heard anything back from Kristen Gaspar.
Okay. All right. Well,
Just want one of those.
that's all good news. Perfect. April attendance at 50, just under 51%, which is really darn good considering. And our 2021 dues payment update, Dr. Plotner. I assume at this point, since we paid for Dr. Plotner for a full year, we just won't do that on July 1st of this year.
Right,
Thoughts,
Right.
ideas?
Makes sense.
yeah.
I'm so lost with Ron on the phone. All right. Ratify proposed member email votes. That was on the 5th of April and the 10th of April for Gaspar and Bush. And here we are, treasurer's report. Mr. Bill.
I have nothing to say. We have money. We spend very little. That's about it. You have the reports.
So,
Nice work, Bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So basically, we're looking at, just for what it's worth, we're looking at walking into for Vaughn at the beginning of July, what, about $32,000? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's about 60,000 short.
No. The different budgets.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, but like when I walked in last year, what was our balance basically?
I think it was a little bit less than
100
that.
something,
Oh,
115.
was it?
Yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't very much.
Okay. Well, there you
Well,
go.
the
So I
club,
guess.
the club balance was low. I think, and Andrew, are you confusing the club and the foundation charitable
Yeah.
budget?
Yes,
Probably. I'm trying to think of how, if Vaughn is in a decent position or a terrible position. For
Vaughn's
July
in a
1st.
good position on
Yeah.
this. I don't know about the foundation. money,
Right.
Where grants come from.
Okay.
correct.
Because Andy, remember, everybody pays dues in,
Right.
so
Right.
100 people times 400 is, what he has to start with.
Perfect. Okay, so it's the foundation we have to worry about. Okay,
Yes, because that's where the money to give away is.
okay. All right. Any action items that we removed from the consent calendar? I don't believe we had any.
Mhm.
All right, executive secretary is still on the phone. believe. Let me look over, where is he? Did he drop off this because he was on the phone? I don't see, there he is. Yep, he's still on the phone. All right, we'll come back. Treasurer, any report?
No, sir.
Community service, any report? Alex?
Sure, yeah. So our hackathon up to $6,600 in fundraising, which is pretty cool. And we just closed Mother's Day online auction. And that thing brought $585 so far, and we still have a bunch of items. So we're gonna continue this until the end of the year.
So I have
So-
350 for the hackathon. I actually have a check for 100 and another check coming for 250. So I'll get those to you.
Well, then, can you email me the people who gave it to you that they can add it to the website?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Then we are up to 6,900 in a hackathon then. So almost
Beautiful.
7,000.
Nice. Anything else from community service?
That's pretty much it.
All right, international service. Colleen?
Sorry, hitting mute on my phone is hard.
How you are?
There I am. Okay. And hey, look, I'm dressed up to be the maid.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Wait, I can see.
Okay, so I just had a big meeting with Bob to talk about for next year because we barely spent any money this year. So I'm trying to convince him that we should roll over our unspent funds into next year's budget numbers instead of asking for that much new money from the foundation. And he seems to be on board with it, but I don't want to step on too many toes. So I'm giving him time to think it over. And he asked if I could find out when the final day to propose our next year's budget would be for him.
That's again, unfortunately up to Vaughn, but obviously the sooner the better. The more information Vaughn has, I mean, he's got a month and a half.
All right.
Money coming in up through June would go into next year's budget.
Well, I will tell him, let's try and get it, our hypothetical budget soon.
Right.
But like I said, we barely spent any money, so I don't really, I'm proposing that the things that we pledged but have not yet funded, we just roll those over into next year and only ask for a little bit extra money for next year and just kind of sit on the rest, so.
And that'll come into our next board member, international service. How are we doing for being able to get matching funds?
Are you talking about me, for Rotary Foundation?
Yes, because
Yes, actually, we are in a very good position. We clarified with Marge Cole, who runs Rotary Foundation at the district level, and I think we are in perfect shape to have met that $14,000 based on 114 members. So yes, we're in great shape. I had 4 members who gave $500 and got it matched with points. So we have some new Paul Harris fellows, and some people are still doing amounts on Rotary Direct. And I believe Laura Stee's $1,000 donation goes in every May for her Paul Harris Society. So we're in great shape this year. The problem is it'll need to be this level every year. So yes, we qualify for both district grant and global grant.
outstanding.
And
Anything
then
else?
in Bob's budget, we'd need to include the match for those.
So, and you and Colleen are still chatting, and Bob now?
Oh yeah, I'm
Coordinate that.
on their committee. Yes, definitely. I did have another item though.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of months ago, I talked with you about the idea of doing something special under Tig Wolford's name.
Yes.
And that was approved. And so I contacted the mayor. Is Paul on the line by any chance? I don't have any.
He is not, no.
I contacted the mayor to speak directly to the fire chief and the police chief to select candidates. And it asked that I get that information by the end of the month. And I have not heard back from either Mac or the chiefs. So I'll follow up on that. But in talking with, I think it was Keith Rickenbacker, he'd said, oh, that's a wonderful thing. We do a plaque. We call it the Service Above Self Award. It just costs the money of the plaque. The Paul Harris Fellows are handled. But he said, what about Al Fukar? Now, he's a past president of our club who passed away in this same year. And yeah, I didn't think of that, of course, because I don't know Alan and hadn't met him, but he made a good point of it can be awkward if you're doing something special, you know, for one Rotarian, but, you know, not the next one kind of thing. So I wanted to bring it up to the board to see if they maybe have a solution.
Well, 2 plaques or 2 names on 1 plaque. And that
Well,
doesn't make sense.
Mike, that was my first thought. Since we're doing one for fire and one for police, we just do one, the Tig Wolford Award, and the next one is the Al Fukar Award. And yeah.
So, but then what happens?
If folks are okay with that, but
I think it gets a little sensitive because then we have Rosa. I mean, there, you know, we've lost, I think we have to, I don't know. It's a little sensitive.
Is the bar a past president?
I'm sorry, is who?
Is the bar that is required for this being a past president?
Well, I didn't have any bar. I was just trying to honor Tig in a way that, yeah, I didn't think about what the standard is or what criteria. But Erica brings up a good point. It's Rosa and Mary Gertis. You know.
So yeah, Christine, when we first chatted about this, part of the initial impetus was that Tig had like 10,000 points.
Right.
At which then we found couldn't roll over. The initial idea was we were going to take the points and turn them into a bequest.
Community acknowledgement. Exactly right.
So maybe if we make that clear, then, you know.
Well, but again, the points weren't able to be rolled over. So I guess the question really is do we call it a past president's award? Do we encourage past presidents to contribute to it or to turn their points to it before they pass?
Well, yeah, that's for next year. I'll be talking about points, and it doesn't do anyone any good just to hold on to them. They're specifically for matching cash contributions and honoring people in your community. So we can do some more of that next year. Was Tig Wolford a past president?
I'm looking for a roster. I don't have one handy.
Here, I'll check.
I've got it right here. I don't see that he was.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
It really does get very complicated when we start naming things after people because there are so many wonderful Rotarians.
The nature of being a Rotarian, right? That would be the nature of being a Rotarian.
Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate in some ways, but in other ways, it's probably best not to just honor one.
Yeah.
So,
Wait,
so again,
who's Burnett T.C. Wolford?
That's
Tig.
Tig.
that's
Okay.
yeah.
Burnett.
So he was a past president, 1928 to 29.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
probably his father.
Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. Yeah.
Because that
So
was
he's a
about the
junior.
year he was born.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have been the year he was born because I'm sure that his father was too busy that year to, anyhow.
Well, I'm fine. I just wanted to hear from the board. And of course, I'd need to talk with Liz, who I spoke with about this before coming up with the idea. So I think you're right. There's some people who aren't past presidents contributed a lot to the club. And yeah, and we're going to go ahead and do the police and fire recognition in this year anyway. So yeah, we'll just do it like we've done in the past, where they get a Paul Harris Fellow, and you know, we get to hear their story and acknowledge their contributions to the city.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Anything else, Christine?
No.
All right. I'm going to come back in a few moments to Ione, who has joined us, and to Erica, who has joined us.
I'm back on, Andy.
And we'll come back to you, Vaughn, in one moment. Let me let the last two staff reports get done, 3 staff reports get done, and then we'll go back. All right.
Okay.
So, Larry, vocational service. Oh, you're muted, Larry.
I've got the, this environmental business we can pass on to new business when we get there, environmental
Okay.
focus. And just the, in terms of the Escondido Shines, I don't know if Vanna's going to talk about this, but we are proceeding full speed ahead with the second serve commitment of helping these young ladies in this foundation develop a program for Escondido. I'm meeting with the city tomorrow to try to iron out the details. The city will own this. It's going to be their program, not ours. And the Second Serve Foundation is going to provide equipment, and we'll provide funding. Now, this funding issue is what I wanted to talk about, because this is coming in as directed contributions to the Escondido Rotary Foundation from the Second Serve group, as well as Vaughn. And so we'll be using directed contributions to start with. And we'll have to decide once we get this program going and what it really costs, how much we want to contribute to funding in the future, and whether that'll be new money or whether it'll come out of, existing, if necessary, existing funds. So I just want to give an update on that we're proceeding on it. And my guess is we'll probably have a summer program. I don't know if we're about to get something going before school's out, because of the city's needs waivers and release forms, and the paperwork associated with getting something like this going is with the city is going to take some time, especially when we're looking for them to be the lead. We want them to take these responsibilities on, not us.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go back real quick. Club service. Erica, do you have any report?
No, I'm just working right now with Jan in regards to demotion. But those are the big ones right now. So
beautiful. Has Terry, I had given Terry a call about if there was any time in June we could come back in person before the demotion. Has she found any opportunities for that?
I haven't heard anything. No.
I
think their biggest thing is that they, which is understandable. I mean, they want to try to have some revenue seeking opportunities first. So
yeah, and I understand they're also redoing all the bathrooms around the salons. So
yeah, well,
yes, go ahead, Jen.
They're having challenges getting staff back too.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Right. All right. I skipped Mike from membership service report. Did you have anything, Mike?
I just that we have 4 in the hopper, and I'll try to get them all closed before end of June.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Ione, welcome back. How are you doing?
Great, thank you, Andrew. I don't have a report.
Okay. Just so you know, the whole meeting has been recorded, and Ron had started taking notes, but then he got a personal phone call, so he just ended his personal phone call. But I will give you access to the recorded meeting.
Appreciate that.
No worries. All right, let's go back to Vaughn for your executive report.
Yeah. Am I good What's your
Yes.
agenda like? Am I good for 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes max.
Okay, it'll be less than that. So
Okay.
I wanted to bring the board up to speed on the preparations we're making for this new year. And I'm really anxious to work with the board. We've got really great leaders in Rotary. What I wanted to do was complement the board of 12 members with a think tank committee we're just calling it Escondido Shines, because its role will be more of a kind of a social mentality type of input, whereas the board itself is dealing with organizational aspects and focused on all of the structural stuff that runs Rotary. I wanted to pull this Escondido Shines committee together to focus on less structural and more relationship. So as I look back on this past year and a half, we've really been challenged because of the limits on relationships. And so the focus in my mind for the coming year needs to be on rebuilding relationships. And those include member to member. They include club to community and member to community. And then I've asked Doug Moyer to focus his programming choices on individual development. So it's member to self. So we got these three focuses of Rotary to community, member to member within the club, and member to self. And the strategy in organizing this Escondido Shines think tank is to have some top people that are kind of monitoring the things we're doing and how we can do more effectively this relationship building. So to do that, I'm going to kind of focus on 4 activities that are going to be merged into our luncheon and other agenda. You've seen the certificate of appreciation, I think, and that the goal on that is to try to get one certificate, one person honored each week. So, for example, I've already talked to JR at the Chamber of Commerce, and I've indicated that we would like to present him with a certificate of achievement on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and all they're doing to resurrect our business community. What's going to happen is they're going to schedule a presentation at their next big meeting that's face-to-face. I'll go in and maybe someone else from the committee will join me, and we would present to JR in the chamber this certificate of appreciation from Rotary and Escondido Shines. Then he would be invited to the next, or soon to be next, Rotary luncheon as our guest, and we would represent the certificate to him in front of our membership and hand him the new Escondido Shines history book. I think you've seen that. It's a $65 book just out, a great book on the history of Escondido, and it'll be a nice gift that shall mean something. And then, you know, we would do this each week where feasible. So the goal would be to bring in, to have someone in the community recognized by Rotary as with the certificate of appreciation. That'll accomplish several things. Number one, Rotary will be out in the midst of these organizations and groups, whether it's a church, there's a man that's in Emmanuel Faith that's been incredible for gang prevention. And so all throughout the community over the next year, there'll be 50 or so presentations where Rotary comes in and makes this certificate appreciation. It'll build relationships. It should lead to a lot of new memberships, by the way, because these people will then have firsthand experience and we'll make a particularly meaningful invitation for them to join Rotary. I've already talked to JR Roten about having the chamber represented. A second area is some kind of a weekly spotlight where individuals will be featured. We'll have some kind of group select the order and how that'll be done, but it would post up on the screen during the luncheon, the bio or fun information. Kristen Gaspar wants to be involved in this part and merge in some social interaction that'll be fun for the club. So that's something that we'll develop, this weekly spotlight on members. It may be done in combination with what I call table talk. The Escondido Shines think tank group is going to be looking at how can we develop more communication between our members so they get better acquainted, new ones and old ones, and so forth. And then the fourth area of relationship building is service opportunities. We're going to be asking the Rotarians to be involved in Second Serve, working with the Hispanic and other kids that are going to be involved in this as well. So those are the sorts of things going on. Let me just read down through the list that is on this Escondido Shines committee. Mark Burrows, representing the school system, Dara Chiwanka, Kristen Gaspar, Justin Gray, Randy Hall, Sandy McDougall, Paul McNamara, Doug Moyer, Keith Rickenbacher, Linda Stanwood, Larry Troutner, and George Weir. Also joining us is Jess Reimnitz, who is the coming president of the 78 Club. And we may have one other, but we've got 4 of the 5 clubs now interested in being part of this think tank and being part of Escondido Shines and building service on behalf of the whole Rotary community. So that's a big goal with Keith Rickenbacher to re-strengthen our inter-club relationships so that we really represent a united front of service in the community. Any questions?
I did have a quick one.
Yeah.
Vaughn, thanks for that. What, do we have a role at the club assembly? Any of your directors? Are we reporting, or
Yes.
how is the club assembly gonna go?
So I haven't worked through the details. I want to work through next week and finish up with the Escondido Shines committee and see what their recommendations are. The goal is to keep this all very relevant to the members, and whether we have a quick report or have them built into the agenda with the programming team, we haven't made a decision on that.
Okay.
But please be aware, and I hope I can count on everybody on the board. What we've got is 2 12-member teams. We've got the board of directors. We've got the Escondido Shines think tank. And I'm hoping that these 2 will really share in the efforts this coming year on building relationships. Each of you is so strong. We need that participation in this theory of increasing recruiting activity, individual involvement by the members in the Rotary programs, and just having fun. So there'll be more coming out. Kristen Gaspar just talked my arm off yesterday. She's really excited to be part of this agenda. She did some crazy things with her club and build it up to the highest attendance of any of their experience. So we've got great talent with 2 12-member teams. It seems to me like we ought to be able to solve almost any problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything last to wrap up? I need to move on to the new items.
No, I think we've got a great year planned, and we'll be hearing more about it, I'm sure.
Okay. So any unfinished business? All right, hearing none, let's go on to new business, the environmental focus. Larry.
Well, I read in the Rotary magazine that Rotary International now has a new focus. It's called environmental, and I was wondering if the board would want to talk about and discuss ideas for what our role could be in that area. And, you know, I've been thinking through this and I came up with a simple, I think, simple initial effort would be to plant some trees. And, you know, that's pretty, I don't know how labor intensive it is. I don't think it's very labor intensive. And I could, you know, I'm going to be interfacing with the rec department on this second serve. I could bring that issue up with them if they would want or be willing to or be interested in us planting some trees into the parks area, where then they could be watered until they're established.
Larry, can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Rather than focusing just on trees, we've been in communities that they have become flower-bearing communities. I mean, some build it around tulips, others have other types of flora. But what about thinking in the context of color on streetscapes and other areas, and even inviting the community in their neighborhoods to focus on building color? We have so many bushes that are brilliant purples, reds, yellows. Why not look at a focus where we encourage the community wide and city in planting things to make Escondido a city of color? Trees are great, but they are so hard to get in. Whereas planting some bushes, making sure they're watered, they can be generating color year round almost. And just a thought.
I would say, Larry, I like the idea of whether it's flowers or bushes or trees. And Colleen also points out that internationally, we're helping fund electric transportation, which is an environmental focus. The one thing I do remember is we had a tree planting program about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the city never did water most of those trees, and a large number of them ended up dying. So
that was disappointing.
Yeah, I think we would need to find some way to actually make sure that happened. But not to throw a wrench in the works. I think me personally, as someone who has no pull in a month and a half, I love it.
You know, and I think we can look into this with the city, because trees will give you a good carbon footprint reduction.
Absolutely, and
flowers aren't going to add much to it, but maybe bushes. But in any case, they got to be watered. If you plant something, it's got to be watered. And if I'm thinking 5 trees versus 100 bushes, it's probably easier to get 5 trees watered than 100 bushes. But
well, and Dara's here, and I know she's not officially on the board. Hi, Dara. I do remember there was something that you brought to us that had to do with the East Valley plan and actually an overall. There was an environmental movement to yes, go ahead. Explain it better than I can.
To plant more. That was Laura Hunter, and part of the climate action plan was to plant, sorry, my dog's going a little crazy, to plant a bunch more trees, and specifically in areas where, you know, that had been subject to greater peril in terms of environmental pollutants. So I could get with Laura and, find out, well, what would you like me to do?
Well, I think Larry, maybe get Larry her information, make an introduction, because to me that Larry, does that make sense to you?
Well,
that you work with
I wasn't intending, I've got enough on my plate. I was just trying to talk about what we could do.
Okay, well,
if Dara wants to take this on. I think
sure, thanks. I'm happy to talk to Laura about it. But I missed the sort of first part of the conversation. So perhaps you could just catch me up offline, Andrew.
I'll do that, Dara.
I can do
Larry,
that.
maybe that'll be something that I can pick up. I may pick that up, since you don't, I mean, you are going to be very busy. So
I just want
like
to
this idea.
Could I add real quick? Sorry. So the Creek Conservancy is coming to speak with us on the 25th, and they're actually planning a huge land transition project in Escondido that'll involve a lot of water purification and floodplains and massive amount of trees. So there's opportunity there too.
Okay. So Larry, I will talk to you in more detail. Dara, I'll talk to you in more detail. I can see myself taking that on if that's something the club wants to do. I think it's brilliant. So. All right. Any other new business that we've missed?
You know, one loose end, we talked
Yes.
about ratifying the email votes on Kristen and Kristen.
Oh,
We also did an email vote on Roxanne Rostamian.
okay.
I
So
can't remember
that's
the exact date.
an addendum to the minutes. Yes.
So I move that we ratify those email votes.
I
Thank you.
Second,
All in favor, say ayes.
Aye.
Eyes.
Opposed, say toes.
Andy, did you catch who did the second?
that was Mr. Freet.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Mike, check the chat room.
I did. There's no rush on that. I have a
Okay.
receipt that shows that they received the tax return, but they'll make me file another one anyway.
Okay,
Oh, Ron,
yes.
could you help follow up on a request to all the board to get their proposed budgets in for the coming year?
Okay, you write it up, send it to me and I'll send it out. That way I don't invent words for you that you, okay, that'll help me a lot.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Excellent. All in favor to adjourn, I guess.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye. So we're adjourned. See you in 2 minutes.
See you in a couple minutes.